mind. It might be a little loud to begin with as well. But fingers crossed we should be fine. Let's just see if we can get this up and running. Hopefully it should appear. There we go. Oh, and hopefully the sound will sort itself out. Okay, so you might struggle to hear me in some of this, or you might not hear the game at all, which is also happening right now. Let's get that fixed. Where are we? There we go. That should do it. So yeah, it might be a little bit loud to begin with, but let's get started.
Night has fallen and you're weary from travel. Stars fill the sky above, and in front of you is a brightly lit wooden house, the only building you've seen for days.
Okay, so we don't have any choices here, but essentially this is the layout for the game. There's going to be some narration and then some choices that we get to make. So let's go to the house.
Walk toward the house, hearing the sounds of laughter and talk as you reach the door and push it open.
I have to say the art style is great.
Enjoying the game. It's a cheap buy-in, and not many of the other players are very good.
Why is this man dressed as a wolf?
The lady fiddling with dice gets good cards, but has no real strategy. The man to your right seems to just hold on to the highest cards he has, regardless of suit or any consideration of matches.
Okay.
The man in gray across from you, though, he's good. He already had the largest pile of coins when you bought in, and while your winnings grow quickly, you can't quite catch him. One by one, the other players leave the table, sometimes with pique or with wry humor, leaving their winnings with you or the man in gray.
Someone's put in some acorns and a feather. Harmonica, nice. Key to something.
Finally, it's just you and the man in gray. He looks at you, full of humor, and winks. Last hand?
I'm in.
He deals, you draw, and look at your hand. It's good. It's great. The best hand, in fact. A royal straight flush. Spades. Aces high.
Nothing can beat me.
But the man in gray pushes forward his whole pile. You're not sure exactly how much it is, but it's more than you've got. You can't match that.
What? Why would I fold? Surely I could just match his... Okay.
The man in gray stops you. Now, if you like, I'll let you wager your word. I know you'll be good for it. Just promise you'll pay the debt. However I ask.
Let me check my cards.
Yep. 10, jack, queen, king, ace. All spades.
Well, I guess you
the
have
man
my
in
word.
gray smiles. All right, then.
Thanks, GP.
I'll call.
Okay. What the hell? There's me giving a blood oath. Fine. Oh, I'm not playing that harmonica again. 10, jack, queen, king, ace, spades. What? And I've just got a hand of random stuff. What the hell just happened?
Well, your luck wasn't so good, was it? That's quite the hand, but not for the game we're playing. I'm afraid you owe me. Your life, sure, but more than that. Your labor.
Okay, I'm going to guess that the volume's a little loud right now with the music. So let's just bring this down slightly. Hopefully that's a little better. GP, if you could let me know, that'd be great. Okay.
You see, this land is built on stories. It's one big story, this country, woven of many small ones. Few of the small ones are strictly true, and the big story is mostly a lie.
Okay.
All the stories and songs and myths and legends start somewhere, with a seed. As they're told and retold and passed around, they grow and change to become the stories we know.
So interestingly, this narration is done by Sting from the Police.
To pay your debt to me, you'll be carrying stories, finding the seeds first and then spreading them, telling them onwards so they can begin gaining strength. This is no light task. Stories are heavy.
Okay.
Most of
Keep
the
going,
stories
Sting.
you'll find will be small seeds. They might be true, but they'll grow wild and unbelievable with the telling.
Unbelievable, GP. That's just terrible.
The more important stories are the true ones. The ones people will tell you about their own lives. Those often get lost in the weaves of the big story.
I have to say, I'm enjoying the soundtrack already.
The more true stories you can find and tell, the more you can weave that truth into the big story. Tarnish it a bit, perhaps, but isn't a dingy and battered truth better than a shining lie?
Yeah, I guess so.
Now, go ahead. You tell me a story. I'll trade you some information about your task.
I don't really have too much of an idea of what's going on. Okay, so what have we got here? Okay, so we get to choose some of these things. Tell a story about the northbound train blinking its giant eye as it crawls through the night. Okay, let's do that.
Travel? That's your job. Wander from place to place, gather those stories and spread them.
That's exactly right,
People
Sting.
get bored hearing the same stories over and over. But an old cliché in one state might be a rip-roaring new yarn in another.
Okay, so now I can't select that one anymore, but I can. It's a story of tossing a pair of bone dice on a blood-red velvet table. They come up snake eyes and wink at you. Yeah, we'll do that one next. Tell a story of a bone red.
It's just luck. Funny how bad luck seems to follow the folks who already have problems aplenty. Well, try your luck out there in this country. See how the dice treat you. It's not all bad. You'll have to work hard, but I'll give you the gift for seeing the true shapes of people. Not many who can do that.
Okay. Hello, Bio. And I hope you're talking about the game. Tell the story of an endless series of doors of different kinds, each leading to only more doors. Okay.
You'll sometimes have to make choices about what kind of story you're finding. Is it a love story or a tragedy? Don't gather too many of one kind, though. This grand story needs variety.
Okay. As I was saying just before, right at the start, Bio, this is more, I guess, an interactive novel than a game, I think, from what I can make out.
Your deepest desires, your greatest wish, heaven? Big Rock Candy Mountain, El Dorado, the Promised Land, that place just over the ridge where they all say that the water tastes just like the sweetest wine. Well, I don't know where that is.
Me either, mate.
It's supposed to be somewhere in this country. Ask the people you meet. They're all searching for the same thing.
Okay. Is that it? That's this last one down here. Tell a story of a black and grey city where every building is filled with desiccated corpses. Okay.
I'll strip away your flesh to make the journey easier, but still you'll feel pain, hunger, weariness, thirst, and despair. They're all part of stories, the part not often told. And death, yes, but don't worry. As long as your task remains, you come back. Go on your way, Seeker. Maybe we'll meet again, or maybe not. Either way, it'll be an experience for you.
Okay, Bio, you want to run down of the game. It's set in the Great Depression in America. This man is Sting from the police. We entered a bar, started playing cards, lost cards, and somehow owe our life to him, although we had the winning hand and still didn't win. And that's pretty much as I can tell you. And now we're talking about stories.
Jealous in some ways.
And Sting being jealous.
I hope you find what you're looking for.
Thanks, Sting. Appreciate it, man. Right. So this is the actual game of us traveling. So this is America. Over this way, I think, is Canada. But we're not allowed to go to Canada. We're just going to keep walking down here. It is a little odd. But essentially, you head to points on the map. It tells you something's going on.
This bungalow is being ransacked. There's furniture piled in the front yard, ammunition heaped under the mailbox, and a crowd of clean-cut men ripping apart a car in the driveway.
Strange.
The two heavily armed, mud-caked women leaning over the porch railing share the same bored grin. One shouts at you. Lend a couple innocent gals a cigarette?
No, we don't smoke.
One of the women wrinkles her nose in disappointment. The other raises a rifle, levels it at you, and shouts, "Bang!" A couple of the men come to take the guns away. "Keep that up. We'll move this party down to the station," one snaps.
Okay, new story. The woman arrested for bootlegging. Fine. So those people ripping the car apart were the police? So yeah, we kind of just make our way across the country trying to trying to complete tasks. What if it actually was wine? Well, I think that's probably the trick. Cat hairs. But you'd have to ask Jesus about that. Right. So we're going to head over here. Oh, look, it's Portland. I don't know anything about Portland. I also don't know anything about the Great Depression, to be honest with you.
And into the woods. You can't help but come across this package by the old tree tied to a sturdy stick. The cloth wrapping conceals, though not particularly well, something large and softly unsettled.
All right, we're going to say hello.
Blink back at you from inside the bundle. The shape gives a start.
Please don't tell my pa that I'm in here.
See you, Bio.
Small voice.
Okay.
Pa doesn't want to live with us anymore, but I want to go with him. Don't tell him, please. I'm hiding.
You tell the boy you'll keep his secret. You don't see his father anywhere. You don't see another soul for miles.
Well, well, well. Guess we'll move on then. New story, the boy who ran away from his father. Can we go to that farm over there? Apparently that's Maine and New Hampshire. Now I presume they need to have like the little icons above them to be able to do anything at them, but who knows? I can't do anything over there. Okay, let's head to Portland. Let's head to Portland and see what's up. So at least it looks like there's a few things to do here. I don't know what. Oh, there's cars, look. Nice. Okay, what have we got here?
They don't come every year, you know. The old man is sitting at the edge of a rotting old pier, crooked legs dangling over the water. He watches a pair of seagulls preen and groom each other on a rock just off the shore.
We'll watch the
They
seagulls.
seem to wait for something together, fidgeting and rubbing against one another. And when they fly off, they fly together. These two, these same two, have been coming here ever since I was a boy, the old man says.
Really?
He watches them fly away until their bodies are dots vanishing into the low sun. Always the same pair. Wonder what keeps him coming back to this town. He shrugs. It must be home.
Okay. Not entirely sure what is happening. Let's head up here. Oh, I'm standing on his house.
The woman walks the small town square with the poise of Betty Davis. A confident stride and inimitable mannerisms elevating the sidewalk into a plush Hollywood carpet. And wrapped around her neck, a yellow velvet ribbon, bright as an ocean sunrise.
Okay.
Question a well-dressed man parked outside an oyster house. Prudish woman. I took her on a fine date and she didn't remove so much as a ribbon. Excuse me, can you step back from the coupe? That's the spirit. You decide to seek a second opinion. You talk with a waitress smoking outside a diner. Something funny about her. Just showed up one day. Doesn't work, doesn't live anywhere as far as I know. Just around. Myself, I'd love to know who made all her beautiful clothes.
Let's approach the woman.
You ask the woman if you may join her at a public bench. You may. Lovely outside, isn't it? Her eyes are a beautiful shade of brown. Beneath the yellow ribbon, a thick, fibrous scar wraps around her throat. Weather like this, it reminds me of Paris.
Hi and bye, Skelly. Thanks for stopping by, mate. What the hell was that all about? What the hell is this all about? Okay, let's head over to the lighthouse.
You can see storm clouds on the horizon, and you don't relish the thought of being caught wandering this rocky seaside road in the rain. Fortunately, you find the lighthouse door open, with a daunting staircase before you.
I don't know what these symbols mean. They must mean
At the
something.
top of an ornate wrought iron spiral, you're breathless and feeling the strain on your knees. Rain already batters the walls outside. You can only knock on a heavy wooden door leading into the upper level. Muffled voices and light seep in beneath the door. Looks like we got a visitor. Sounds like a man's voice, deep and rough. Well, behave yourself. I'll open the door. Another man, this one with a higher, more sonorous voice. I always behave myself. He feigns indignation, but his tone betrays affection instead. After a moment, the door unlatches from the inside and opens. The man before you is tall and muscular, with a hint of a paunch beneath his wide chest. The heavy iron knob on the door looks nearly dainty in his huge hand. Didn't want to be out in this rain, did you? Come in. Despite the rough exterior, this room looks like a well-appointed parlor. There's a rug on the well-trod wooden floor and an enormously plush couch. And sat upon it is a stocky fellow grinning through a great hazel-colored beard. Tea? He offers, hoisting a teapot.
Yeah, it does seem a little odd being alone in the lighthouse with two men. But they've got tea.
A few years. The tall one sits on the sofa, wrapping his arm casually around the other lighthouse keeper. 5, says the smaller, but by no means small, man.
That long? Time flies. We traveled together before that. You must have some good stories from the road, huh?
Well, I mean, I have some.
You wake up the next morning on their old sofa, still warm from an excess of tea. And cakes? There might have been little cakes. Prodigious snoring rumbles in from the floor above you, and you quietly take your leave.
Okay. Let's move on. Now, I very much like the music in this game. I very much like the narration in this game. What I am a bit confused about is what the hell I'm doing, and more importantly, why. But what I can tell you is we're travelling to Boston. Can I stop this car? Nope. Okay, let's head to Boston. We'll head to this, what looks like a church over here. I'll have you know my bottom was fine, thanks. What's that thing? That looks promising. Okay, let's go to this church here. If it is a church.
A dusty truck and a man on horseback pull up next to one another in front of the grocer. Suddenly, the driver and the rider, two wiry old men with identical haircuts, start shrieking at one another. The man with the truck leaps into the street.
Brother!
He shouts. The one on the horse tumbles out of his saddle.
Brother!
He screams. They embrace in the road.
30 years!
Hollers the driver. The rider, tears streaming down over his face, corrects him.
No! 32!
Wow.
Everyone here is watching these two older men cry and hug one another in the middle of Main Street. Cars and wagons are backing up. People are yelling.
Take a photo of us!
The driver begs you. Starts hauling a tripod out of the bed of his truck.
Wow. Let's say cheese.
The long-lost brothers pose in front of traffic, cry snot pouring out of their noses. As angry passerby wave you out of the road, each brother presses a coin into your hand. When the traffic disperses, you realize they overpaid you quite a shocking amount.
Nice. So all you gotta do is make people take pictures in front of cars. Cat Hairs is suggesting that maybe this is telling us the story as to how we became a giant skeleton, which is a very, very valid question. Can I just walk into Boston? Enter Boston. Let's do it. Red brick, green trees, blue skies. In this weather, Boston is beautiful. That is until you make your way deeper into the city and get lost among the cramped, winding, shallow-haunted old streets. So I can explore, earn money, go to the train station, or to the store. Well, let's try exploring.
This city is like no other you've been to. Crooked streets splay out in a maze of narrow passages, no two alike. Soon, you find yourself in twilight, utterly lost. Bright light crests around one corner, a car approaching.
Hail the taxi or keep walking? You know what? I'm a man. I'm not going to ask for directions.
To afford rescue, you keep walking. The asphalt turns to crooked cobblestones that threaten to wrench your ankle out of place. Was this always a moonless night? The stars multiply, each one looking like a pinprick through which light is exiting the terrestrial world. It's hard finding your way through in pitch darkness. You go by touch and sound, feeling the scale of the streets by the echoing of your footsteps, fingers tracing the rough surface of the buildings. And then, a rumble of noise in the distance.
Am I about to get hit by a train or a tram?
You quiet yourself, suddenly fearful. The clear sky tells you it's not thunder, but cannon fire. The city comes alive with fires and shouting. You find yourself trampled by a mob of men in thick brown coats, a phalanx of bayonets advancing up the street. When you come to, there's no sign of the commotion, the war that you were just caught in. The comically shrill honk of a Model A running up the road startles you, and you crawl toward the sidewalk. Above, the sky is a sharp, cold, cloudless blue.
Okay, of course it is. Well, there we go. We got trampled. Let's try and earn some money. You wander the streets and city looking for a way to make cash. Panhandle or look for work? Let's look for work. A tiny woman in a lush fur coat is standing outside a boutique lamp store with a package nearly as tall as she is. You there, she calls. Can you lift this? It's huge and unwieldy, but light as anything. You carry it down to my house, and we'll work something out, the woman declares. You have the package and follow her. She begins a rambling story about her living room, her interior decorator, her husband's taste in rugs. Fascinating, ma'am. You follow by the sound of her voice. The lamp box is so large you can't see a thing. Eventually she exclaims, "We are here!" Thank God. Oh, something just happened. You lay the box down in the living room. It's nowhere near as luxurious as she made out. I made it sound. A card table, a ratty couch, wall tapestry done in grotesque imitation medieval style. This will really tie the room together, she exclaims. At least she tips you. We made some money. Okay, so we can go to the store or the train station. Well, let's try the store. We could buy hot apple cider, clam chowder, iced tea, or cola. I don't know what these things mean. Morning, Kevin. Afternoon, Kevin. Let's buy some clam chowder. Oh, we lost a little bit of cash. Okay, let's go to the train station. We can go to New York or Detroit. We haven't got enough money. I'm going to leave Boston. Thanks, Boston. It's been a pleasure. What's this place? What is this place, I wonder?
His clothes are expensive, but unkempt. A tailored jacket stretched and warped out of its best fit by long days on the road. His thinning frame weighs down the boxcar next to yours. You got a light, friend?
Sure.
You offer a match, which bends and nearly snaps as he scratches it against the pitted iron edge of the boxcar. Thanks, he mumbles, perching one last cigarette on his lip.
So where are you going?
Don't rightly know where I'm going. You notice how deeply wrinkled his clothes are. It's as though a huge hand plucked him from a high society party and crumpled him up like a sheet of paper. Don't rightly know how I got going either.
Okay.
They built a railway just past Missy Hudson's estate. Damned racket ruined our soiree. Might have been a few bottles of Armagnac too many when I walked down the tracks to tell them to keep it quiet. He drags on the cigarette, but you never see him exhale.
Okay, we'll move on then. So yeah, Kevin, this game is odd. Interestingly odd, I think I would describe it as. Let's go to this little thing. I don't know what this is. Camp. Okay. Interesting.
Hey there, stranger. You're welcome to enjoy this fire with me, if you're respectful, that is.
Of course I'm respectful.
This here is my spot, and I ain't inclined to share it with any bad characters. You can call me Quinn.
Hello, Quinn.
These here are my venturing companions. Cass is the big un, and the one with the spots is Flip.
Oh, look, it's Cass and Flip.
I usually beat my way on the rails, but the road news said this town was fat, and the weather was fine. So I'm taking in the sights and seeing what I can drum up. I'm in the mood for something real funny-like.
Am I going to get killed by a little kid? Okay. Here it is stories you've collected so far. They're organised by subject. Okay. This is the subject of each story. You'll find... If you tell a person a story about love, for example, they'll tell you something relating to the... Okay. As night goes on, this icon will move from left to right. When it reaches the right side, night is over. And so is your storytelling. The person you're talking to will usually tell you where they'll be next, so you can find them again. If you tell them the types of stories they request, you'll gain their trust. Their eyes will open. When it opens fully... Oh, the eye will open. When it opens fully, the next time you meet them, they'll be able to tell you about their life. Okay. Okay, so a funny story. I don't really have a funny story, I don't think. I'm guessing one of these is funny. Let's go with a family story. Let's tell the story about the reconnected brothers.
I don't get too much out of tales that are so cheerful. Not enough excitement for me.
Ah, you miserable little bastard.
My family. There ain't no way I'm gonna start jaw-flapping about those bastards. Judases, the lot of them. Enough said. I want to hear a story about ghosts or murderers or something. Scary stuff.
I don't think I've got any of those stories either. Sadness. Ah, this woman had a cut throat.
Well, that sure was a downer. Give me a good venture tale instead any day.
Jeez. Can't I just make one up?
Sad. Oh, so you think just 'cause I'm young, I gotta be sad, crying after my mama every night.
Cat Hair says I should tell him the story of the time I killed a creepy kid and his dogs. There'll be no harming of dogs.
I don't need you looking after me, so if you're offering, don't. And I thought I told you to be respectful. What you really ought to be asking yourself is if you want to keep enjoying my spot or not. Hey, tell me a funny story. You seem like you still got a
God, what's this one? I don't have any funny stories, mate. You can have a story about bootlegging women.
Not sure I quite follow that one. Authority, bosses and such. I ain't nobody's little Angelina if that's what you're asking. I take care of myself and my dogs. I don't need no jocker looking out for me. So if you're offering, don't. Shoot, I thought I told you to be respectful. You want to keep enjoying my spot or not? Think about that. Hey, tell me one of those exciting...
My stories are rubbish. They were about seagulls and stuff. Jeez. There you go. Boston streets. This is the one.
Were you trying to scare me? Well, you didn't go far enough. Huh. Well, I don't know a whole lot about the past, but
But
They say there's an Injun grave around these parts. Say it's haunted and full up with angry spirits. I used to love hearing stories of cowboys and Injuns fighting it up. Would swap tales with the youngins. But, well, I suppose if someone shot me, I'd be pretty vengeful too. I want a story that scares me. Now I'm older, almost nobody can do it. Give me your best shot.
I don't have any, mate. You've heard all my stories. Do I have to tell him one, or can I just exit? I mean, I'm guessing he's not going to be scared by that. Let's just exit. You know what? Fine. Let's just tell him this bloody story and get it over and done with. There's nothing scary about this.
Chuckle to be sure, but do you know anything more lively?
No.
Traps and such like.
I got nothing else, mate.
Well, one time in Fort Worth, a feller tried to take Cass and Flip away.
Hold on, I'm pouring a drink, buddy. Round your campfire. Tell me more.
Said a kid couldn't look out for him proper like. That they were fat in Fort Worth and they were going to the pound so that he could find him a good home.
Okay.
Well, before I could much argue, Flip bit the hell out of that busybody and Cass and I joined in shortly. I don't think I ever seen a fella so surprised. Guess I ain't going back to Fort Worth no more. Well, night's over. I think I'll see what's happening up the road this way.
Okay, let's head into Pennsylvania.
Didn't understand all your stories, but I'd gladly listen to more if I see you again.
Well, there we go.
The tramping life suits me just fine. Every day's a venture. With things being so depressed, folks walk around like it's the end of everything good. But it ain't.
Okay.
Plenty nice things to see if and you know where to look.
Well, there we go, the Hobo Kid. We told our first story round a campfire, and now we've got a choice to make. Well, we haven't really, because I can't see any more things on the map, so let's head this way. What's next? You're not supposed to read to me, mate? As you walk down the road, a black crow flutters down to land on your path. It looks at you and cocks its head and speaks. Well, you've got a long road ahead, don't you? All these people to chase down, or so I hear. It laughs. It gives some experience. I've got some experience when it comes to chasing folks. Tell me about it. Well, if you want, you could go find your friend again, ask him more about their life. They might want better stories this time. It peers up at you. Didn't they tell you where they're headed next? Mm-hmm. But hey, the world is full of people. Bet you could find another friend like that. If you went looking around, there's more than one interesting person in this land, that's for sure. It gives a gravely laugh. That's what humans say anyway. And then it launches into the air and disappears. Well, thanks, Crow. Appreciate it. I think we're heading to New York. Oh, I see. Oh, that was a nice little mini game. Nice little mini game. Oh, there's something over here. This looks like a shooting thing. Hear a story. Where's the narration man gone? He's just left me. He had a really good voice. You spend a while in the cool shade at the gas station. You notice 3 kids sitting beside their family car while their parents argue loudly with the cashier inside. The children seem embarrassed. You see the oldest brother lean over and distract his siblings with a story. He starts telling them a story about the dead woman in the yellow ribbon. You realise almost instantly he's telling you a new version of the tale of the elegant woman in the small town, but with exciting over-the-top details. He tells it well. When the parents come stomping furiously out of the gas station, you make yourself scarce, missing the ending of the boy's new story. But the part you heard is definitely easily to remember. It will stick with you for a while. Stole my story. Okay. Is there a way of saving? Or does it just save automatically? The music is pretty good, I have to say. Especially when you whistle. Okay, let's search around. What have we got?
As you walk along
Oh, he's
the
back.
river near an unfinished bridge, man with a tool belt catches sight of you. Hey, over there, he calls out. You look like you could use a quick way to get some hard-earned money. Hard-earned is right. The bridge hangs high over a perilous drop.
Is it safe or accept? What do you think? We need the cash because we couldn't afford a train. So I'm thinking we accept either way. I mean, these guys look fine, don't they? They look alright. Let's do it.
He exclaims. Suppose you'll want a safety belt. We Thunderbird people don't need them. We fly when we fall. He chuckles.
Belt up.
You find yourself up high, looking over the rushing river that crashes around the foundation of the bridge. As you work side by side, the man mentions, "You can see Thunderbirds up here if you know how to look."
What the Thunderbirds got to do with anything?
You ask him to explain. Practice your peripheral vision, if you dare. Last thing you need up here is for them to see you seeing them and come swooping at you, he says laughingly. You only see the clouds thicken. It sure does pass the time working. The man pays you well when you're done with the job.
I did think he meant like the puppets. I was a bit confused. Thanks for the follow, buddy. Man pays well when you are done with the job. We needed his money. Okay, let's head to New York. Hi, Jesse. Okay, New York it is. The air stinks of gasoline and trash. And you're boxed in by brick, but damn, there's something invigorating about that stink. You feel there's an engine in your chest. So let's explore.
The engines belch black smoke as the ferry churns gray water into froth. A broad-shouldered figure leans out over the rail, eyeing the skyscrapers on the horizon. Nearby, a man and a woman speak in low, urgent voices. He takes her wrist gently. She is weeping softly.
Well, we tell stories, so let's listen to the
I
couple.
wish you didn't have to go.
She says.
There's got to be work on some of those buildings going up.
His thumb skates over her pulse point.
I checked every day for a week. There ain't. I'll be back, though. Got your picture in my wallet, don't I? It's not forever.
Let's just talk to this couple, Lord, and then I'll be with you. Let's keep
Her
listening.
words are split by a sob.
Might as well be. My parents didn't come to New York for this.
She leans against him, the wind tousling her hair. He pulls her to his chest.
I'm leaving because I gotta go. If there was another way...
They stand together, close, quiet, in the stiff breeze.
Okay. Lord, this, I mean, it's interesting. I think one of the reasons it's interesting is because I've got no clue what is going on. But there's something that makes me want to keep moving from place to place. even when it doesn't make a great deal of sense. The music is incredible, I have to say. The soundtrack is great. The narration is very good, but I don't really know why I'm doing it. But you know, for everything is about, I think it's about £10 or so on Steam, something like that. And is it worth it? I don't know. I think it's going to be one of those games that you either you really want to keep playing and find out what happens next, or at some point it's just kind of fizzle by the wayside and you'll be like, oh, I don't really know why I'm doing this. But at this moment in time, I'm quite intrigued by it. Let's try and earn some money. You wander the streets looking for some way to make cash. Look for work. Factory gates swing opened. Who here can use a sewing machine? Shouts the foreman. You can mend holes with a needle or thread, but you haven't lived in the same house as a sewing machine for years. Should we lie? Should we lie? What do we think? Anyone? Anyone got any views? Do we lie about our sewing skills? It's such a weird game, I have to say. It's one of those that I can see myself playing this. I wouldn't have known Jesse would lie. Okay, oh hold on. Let's just go for it. You're ushered into the factory filled with machines you've never seen before. You see spools of leather straps, sliding frames of steel. Nothing you recognise. Well, crap. They explain the machinery to your group, but the instructions are totally mystifying. A thick-armed woman next to you makes a grunt of recognition. She probably actually knows how to use a sewing machine, huh? You know you absolutely cannot fake competency here. Admit your lie. Well, you lot got us into this. You lot got us into this. What's next? Fake a catatonic spell or admit your lie. This is true Jesse, down to a T. He tries to lie, gets caught out, and immediately admits that he's lying. Okay, we've got a lie and a fake it. Okay. Well, Lord's new round here. Lord's new round here. We're going for it. You let your legs go loose and fall flat onto your ass, dropping your stuff everywhere. The workers in the crowd yelp and back away. The foreman crouches over you in a panic. He slaps you across the face once. Hey, hey, oh shit, oh shit. Lie completely still. Much to your surprise, they're incredibly kind about it. They carry you to a side room, leave you on a cot. You lie there for hours until you're sure they'll buy it. You get no pay, of course, but they let you go without a fuss. There we go. That goes to prove that just by lying, you can get away with stuff and find a nice bed to lie in. Okay, we can go to the train station or the store. I don't really get the point of going to a train station unless you want to make sure you catch someone in a certain location. However, with that being the case, I get the feeling that I need to know the layout of the United States of America, which I don't. So let's go to the store. I can buy some hot apple cider, some iced tea, or some cola. It's going to cost us some money, and we don't really have a great deal, so let's leave. Okay, what's happening over here? Going to New Jersey.
Low tide on a moonless night. This beach is long, stretching toward a receding sea. In the darkness, the sand seems coarse and gray. Alien. The stars are dim and distant.
Look to the horizon.
It outshines the stars with its presence. A streak of sickly colored light, leaving a trail of distorted fire. It slowly creeps along the sky like a vast worm, though you know that, given the distance, it must be moving at great speed.
Do I look back at the shore? Let's look at the shore.
And there, near the water's edge, a human figure. They stand there, transfixed by the light. 1, 2, 3 steps, ankles lowering into the surf. Silent collapse into a black wave, bathed bathed in a nameless color. Then, nothing.
What the hell is happening? Right, move on. The light from the sky. Oh, there's like a crow over here. So the crow doesn't get narration. Jet black crow alights on the low branch of a twisted tree. Look at you, it cows. Caws. Think you've got some good stories already? Well, I heard better, much better, hey. It seems to wink at you. Want to hear my tricks? Yeah. The one's got you now. Pathetic stuff. The ones you got now, sorry, pathetic stuff. You tell the stories around and they'll come back more exciting, more satisfying. So always listen to the stories other folks tell. Their tales are less true, sure, but more useful around the campfire. The boss has a point about the true ones, though, the crow admits. They're extra interesting. You learn a couple of folks' true life stories and everyone will like them, no matter what kind of story they are. Okay, any other tips? Well, everyone's the captain of their own destiny, gives out a burst of laughter. Ain't no bootstraps in the world that can save you now. But the choices you make, they change the kind of story you can tell. Ruffles its feathers and sort of shrugs. Choose wisely or don't. Thanks, Crow. Now, we said he was going to be in Pennsylvania, but we're at a crossroads here. So, chat. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, or well, New York, I guess. So, I guess we're going west, south, or east, if anyone has a preference. What do you say? West, south, or east? That's the choice. Admittedly, west is between two massive mountains. Oh, hold on. Pretty good at this whistle and malarkey. Right, what you got for me? South, northwest. Appreciate it. Let's go towards Philly, shall we? Thanks, Kevin. There's another crow. Let's talk to him. You notice a black crow sitting on a fence post watching you with unsettling intensity. Hey, it blurts. Hey, friend, hey. You hear about the trains? Gives a throaty cackle. Locomotion, that's the life. Got some good travel tips here. You ever ride a train, it asks? With your budget, you'll need to. Hop on at a train yard though, fast and convenient. But the railroad bulls really don't like it when you ride in their empty boxcars. If you get caught, you'll get beaten. It helps and pecks something at the ground. On a positive side, maybe you'll meet someone to trade stories with. But if you don't like the sound of that, you could hitchhike. Find a friendly car, it laughs. I feel sorry for you, landlubbers. No wings, just motors. Can't even cross rivers when you want to, only at safe crossings. I always do. You notice that the beak doesn't move as it speaks, but before you can tell anything else, it flies off. Okay? Fine. See ya, buddy.
The stream is a clear, reflective shade of blue. Unusual in this region, where bog iron colors the river's brown. Across the way, a goat with great leather wings laps up the water, its sunken red eyes fixed on your every movement.
I mean, that doesn't look much like a goat.
You now notice the unnatural absence of wildlife. No fish swim in the stream. No birds sing in the trees. The winged goat drinks with a forked tongue, only abstractly concerned with your presence.
Interestingly, I think some of these stories are meant to be based on like true folk tales. True folk tales, like folk tales that are quite common in America. I don't know how true that is. So if anyone knows about a goat with horns and wings and a forked tongue, please tell me. We can drink the water or approach the goat. Befriend the goat. Okay, Catheads.
A scorched one-room house lies abandoned, 2 of its 4 walls in ruins. The goat rears up, front hooves curled, and stretches its wings out to their full breadth.
We've committed to this.
The goat opens its mouth and wails, a protracted, shrill sound, indistinguishable from the cry of a human infant. It only begins to stop when you take several steps back.
Apparently, I cannot be friends with the goat.
The winged goat doesn't follow. Instead, it lies down inside the burnt house, surrounded by portraits of a large family, glass frames stained brown from smoke.
Okay, I remember the story of me and the goat. It's not as interesting as I thought it might be. Right, here we come, Philly.
You come across a girl picking wild blueberries. She smiles and greets you.
Anin.
She offers you some from her birch bark basket.
Thank you.
You reach in the basket for blueberries, but pull out a handful of small, smooth stones, all the colors of the rainbow. The snickering girl runs into the trees as fast and light as a rabbit.
I can throw the stones or stop. I don't know if this is throw the stones at the girl.
When the stones reach the top of their arc above your head, they turn into butterflies, all the colors of the rainbow. Your heart leaps in surprise. Incredible.
Okay, let's move on. Right.
A few wanderers like you are looking for a place to camp.
We heard there's a Leatherman cave nearby.
They tell you. They describe a locally famous vagrant who hiked this area for almost 30 years.
He's dead now, but his caves are the best place to camp at any town.
Where is it?
You and the other wanderers find the cave easily, because someone's lit a fire there. As you approach, you see a silhouette bend over the flames with an odd, creaking sound, like a door swinging in the wind. His coat is crudely stitched from leather plates that squeak against each other.
The Leatherman.
One of the others whispers.
A ghost.
The Leatherman must have heard, but he just stares. His face is corpse still.
Of course he isn't a
He's
ghost.
eating, you say, and point out his can of beans.
Je ne suis pas un fantôme.
The Leatherman says, and adds,
Idiot. Oh,
bursts your companion.
Canadien.
Soon, he and the Leatherman are deep in conversation, and your group has a safe place to rest.
Okay. Maryland's just over there, look. Right. Let's head over this way. Let's hear a story. This man can barely wait to get through the pleasantries before asking if you ever heard a story. 110% true, he says. I heard it from my nephew, and it happened to someone he knows. Man launches into his story. It's polished. He obviously has done this many times before. He tells you the story of the ghost of the well-heeled hobo. You recognize the bones of it from your experience of the last bottle of Armagnac. He embellishes in the interim, though. Afterwards, you thank the man and move on. You remember that version, even if it's not quite what happened. It's a good story. My stories! God damn it. So it looks like we could get a train, but there's also a camp over here. And we've got a few new stories now. So let's head to the camp, shall we? I don't even know what it is, Jesse. What is it? Is it like some kind of brandy? Let's head to Washington and then we'll come back and camp. That's the plan. It's hard to look at these buildings in the direct sunlight. You feel like an ant crawling among the tombs of giants. Away from the monuments, though, you find a city that is a little more human.
The mailman's uniform is dated and worn. He sits on the edge of the road, head in hands. He looks up as you approach. Can you help? Car clipped me. I think my legs... Well, I'd appreciate it if you could deliver this for me. He holds out a brown envelope.
Of course we can.
The letter's addressed to a James Gibson Sr., 120 J Street. But the city stymies you. The blocks run straight from I to K. You stop a man for directions, but he shakes his head and laughs. Someone's playing a joke on you.
There's no J Street.
Come on.
Over here.
A woman in a brown coat overheard your question. She steers you down an alley. Someone's chalked a big orange J on one wall.
I thought Clovis was late. Go left up ahead. Old Man Gibson's the third on the right.
Oh, God.
As you round the corner, the world changes. J Street is a place out of time. Like the city forgot an entire street a century ago and carried on around it, oblivious. Even the noise and bustle of D.C. can't penetrate this little pocket. The man who answers is ancient and stooped. He peers at the letter.
I think it's from my son. I don't see so well anymore. Will you read it to me?
You tear the letter open. It isn't good news.
Okay. Tell him the truth or tell him a lie? What do we think? What do we think? Jesse says truth break the old man's heart. Truth, I'm guessing. Okay.
He fights it, but his face crumbles. Tears roll down his cheeks.
It's better to know. I've been waiting a long time for this.
His shaking hand takes the letter.
Thank you for telling me.
Well, we didn't earn any money for that. Great. Earn money. What does panhandle mean? Does that mean just sort of do nothing? It's outside a grocery store. With your hat until a young woman, an apron on, quietly asks you to leave. My mum says she's going to come back and kick your ass, he whispers. Pack your stuff up and hurry down the street. When you glance over your shoulder, you see a towering woman in blood-stained butcher's apron watching you from the door to the grocery. Her crossed arms bulge with muscles like a pair of crossed seals. Nice. Okay, let's leave and let's head to... Where was that camp? Over there. That's where we're going. We're going to head over here. So panhandle is essentially begging, I see. Okay, we're at camp. Let's do this.
My twin brother Paul and I always got into trouble, but we were good. We didn't do nothing to anybody until we left. Then we hurt a lot of people. Me, more so than Paul, because he didn't make it through. The march I was on, the bonus army, it's less a bonus and more an acknowledgement of what I've had to suffer. Civilians will never understand. Do you know any happy stories? Hopeful ones?
Yeah, loads. I've got hundreds of happy, hopeful stories, mate. They call me the happy, hopeful storyteller. This is a happy, hopeful story. The story of brothers. He's going to be upset by the brothers, surely.
For a moment there, just a moment, I felt better about it all too.
Hooray! Look, his eyes almost open.
My family, they were good to me. Ma and Pa, and to Paul, and to my sister Jessie.
Yes, we do, Jessie. Just, we don't panhandle.
Some days I wish I could find Jessie again and have her help me. She always liked Paul best. So anyway, tell me a funny story? You seem like you know a few good ones.
Okay, so the funny story has to be the cognac man or whatever it was. This is a funny story, isn't it? The Leatherman one.
Wish I could tell that one to my sister. My faith? Well, God and I haven't been on speaking terms since I got the infection. I gave the fucker so many chances to make things right, and he hasn't followed through. Tell me a happy story. Something to make the
world seem kind. I might have run out of stories, mate. What we got? Bootlegging. 2 lighthouse keepers. They seem quite happy, didn't they? Maybe?
I like that one.
Oh my god, look how big his eyeball is.
For you too, you know. Don't give it away too quickly. The past doesn't even feel like it happened. It feels like it's happening in every moment, in every slumber. When the memories come back to you, do they clutch at you, at your heart? Know any good jokes? I'm not so good at telling them anymore.
Me either, mate. Jokes. Oh god. I don't know. The story of the dead woman and the yellow ribbon. Strange stones, maybe? I don't know. Probably not.
Oh, come on. That doesn't sound right.
Well, I know that.
Home. Well, my sister, Jessie. won't forgive me for what happened to Paul, so she won't let me back home. I made my own way for a while after that, till no one could afford gardeners. Who could stand to care for the land nowadays? Maybe it'll take my mind off my sorrow to hear about somebody else's. Tell me a
Sad story. I can do that. Well, this one we got the advance to the story, didn't we? Let's tell that one.
I wish I could talk about what happened in the trenches the way you do. Might help someone to understand. Mods say that we only get as much sadness as we make. Paul's ghost is providing me a little extra. Here's the sun. I've got to go. I'm headed up the road this way. Will our paths cross?
Maybe. He's heading to New York.
Days come and go and terrors return. They'll never be able to pay back what they owe me, but I'll always keep at it. What about you? Is there something somebody owes you?
Not so much. I think I owe someone something. We did it. We got to chapter 2 with him. Nice. Now where are we heading? Okay, let's go. Don't know where I'm going, but let's go. There was a train line over here in Philly. Let's go get on the train. See where we end up. Hop on a train. Heading to Pittsburgh. There's a man just there. I mean, he's right there, but we don't speak to him. As you hop on off the boxcar, you suddenly feel a heavy hand of a railroad bull on your shoulder. Now, where'd you come from, he asks, in a way that indicates he doesn't care. You don't mess with the Southern Pacific cars. The beating in shoes is efficient and brutal. Well, thanks, man. I lost some health. But I made it to Pittsburgh. The man reads the newspaper with barely contained horror, his grimace spreading wider and wider as he makes his way down the page. Suddenly, his frowns crack into something with a little more amazement. Whoa, he says. What's the matter? He reads out the story about a shootout between the female bootleggers and the cops. You're shocked. It's the story of the woman arrested in the bootlegging, but with some bits changed. Do you think that really happened, he asked. Oh, yes. He shrugs. Sounds like nonsense for me, for sure. But the stuff they'll print these days. Okay, so we got more to our story. There's another camp just up here. But I've lost health, which isn't good. So I need a city. Can't afford another bean.
The hotel is an old manor house that's seen better days. A grand structure surmounted by a gambrel roof that dwarfs the house itself. It's eerily still, but for two boys at play. Each one so small and light, they barely leave tracks in the deep snow. The clerk behind the counter is old, and your room key is worn. But night approaches, and the price is low. Just before you shut the room door, there they are, the twins, staring at you from the corridor. In the morning, as you leave, the clerk asks, "Did you sleep well?" Too tired to lie, you tell him about the noise outside your door. The trampling of small feet on the corridor outside. The dreams disturbed with violent and hideous images. "That's odd," he says, weak-eyed. There are no children staying with us.
Wow, wow, wow. That is odd. Right.
By nightfall, the hospitality of this sleepy hamlet, combined with their superstitious tales, has both overstuffed your stomach and filled you with a hollow dread. Folks say these woods are full of apparitions, witches, and worse. You curse yourself for getting on the road so late. In the moonlight, every valley and hollow at the feet of the Tappan Zee seems like a stolen shred of the abyss itself. Fireside tales seem less fanciful, and every cackling crow and moaning whippoorwill seems like a demon perched on the shivering, spindly trees.
What the hell?
But something cuts through the noise. The muffled sound of hooves galloping on the cold, muddy road. When he finally slows his horse alongside you, it's as though he had just appeared out of the mist. He's astride a gigantic black courser, and though his boots are muddy and ragged, he wears an immaculate coat with great, shining buttons. From his saddle hangs an antiquated flintlock and a cavalry saber. In the darkness, you can hardly see above his towering shoulders.
Greet the rider.
His voice is a rumbling croak, deep, but as though his throat is filled with thorns. Have you happened upon a cannonball around here? You can tell English isn't his first language. German is. His hand, so pale it's almost blue in the moonlight, grips the reins in a fist. You mumble an apology and watch as he silently rides away, back into the mist. He's cloaked in black, you notice from behind, but the blood running down over his shoulders glints crimson in the moonlight.
Okay. I think I'm like dying. I mean, I know I'm a skeleton, but I think I'm like dying. What's this place? What are these things? Cross. Okay, we can cross the river. Nice. I probably should have gone to that camp, but we've crossed the river. Right now. Let's go to that camp. I'm crossing the river again. Okay. What now? Oh, it's him again, look.
Hey, traveler. Come to join my fire again?
I have, buddy.
Well, I guess I know you well enough to let you set yourself down for a spell. You remember Cass and Flip?
Hi, Cass. Hi, Flip.
You want to hear more about my travels? Well, sure. Why not? Nothing better than trading stories around the fire. I'm in the mood for something real funny like.
Okay. I can help you with that. I've got hilarious stories. This is a funny story. Here you go.
I'll remember that one. A couple good jokes can get you out of a fix sometimes. Trust. Well, I figure tramps are apt to trust each other, to a point. Sure, there are backbiters out there, but it's the folks who act respectable, the so-called upstanding ones that I keep an eye on. Hey, tell me one of those exciting stories.
Exciting stories. I've got a story about the winged goat. Here you go.
I usually like the scary stuff, but Your story needed more punch, I think.
I think you might be right.
Sad. Oh, so you think just 'cause I'm young, I gotta be sad?
No, I don't think
Crying
that.
after my mama every night.
Although, if you want to, it's up to you.
I don't need you looking after me, so if you're offering, don't. And I thought I told you to be respectful. What you really ought to be asking yourself is if you want to keep enjoying my spot or not. Hey, tell me a funny story. You seem like you still...
A funny story. Don't know if I've got a funny story for you, mate. I don't really have a funny story. Go with the stones, so you can tell me it's not real.
Not sure I quite follow that one.
Me either. Me
This
either.
land sure is something, ain't it? I can't wait to see it all. Tramping like I do makes me